What's up, baby? Shadow. Why are you the most annoying dog? Also the best dog. Can't lie. Can't lie. I mean, I could lie. There's no point in lying. Damn, my eyes are blue, boy. Okay. It's been a little bit since I did a video. Work is crazy. Between work being crazy and it's just hot. Afton's in softball, so she's got all her softball things going on at all times, basically, and, you know, for the most part, I think that, it's easier to watch a movie than it is to do a review of them. Write that down if you ever try to do this. The movie that I'm coming at today is called The G. Now, I didn't really know what to expect with this movie, but it's called The G, and I'm a straight up G myself, so we had to do it. It had a weird start. I thought maybe there's something like supernatural going on. Not as supernatural as Connecticut hip hop magic, but if you don't know about New England hip hop, we do have some, and it's pretty quality. Damn, my eyes are blue, boy. Blue as can be. See, it's awkward because I don't know exactly where to focus. I guess I'll focus here for a minute and I will come back to it and see how that actually looks on the video itself. Because when I look at myself, it looks like I'm looking to the right. So that always seems kind of awkward. I don't want to be too awkward. I'm already awkward enough. So, the old lady in this movie was awesome. Her name is Dale Dickey. I do not recognize her from anything. I looked up the things that she's been in and I had not seen anything previously. But I may check some of her stuff out because she's just enjoyable. And she was really the main part of this movie that actually made it fun. Now, the premise of this film is frightening to any of us who are aging out into the world. You know, I mean, I'm 50 now, so when you start hitting those numbers, you realize that time is fleeting. I'm at least halfway through my life, even if I live to an old age. So it's like the process of accepting that you're going to eventually die and it's probably not that far away is one that we all have to go through. Now, also, the process of getting old and realizing that, say you don't have any children who can take you into their home or whatnot, the government is going to come in at some point and make a determination that you are or are not capable of caring for yourself. Now, I know that there is a cottage industry of criminal element that runs scams on this stuff. They get people committed. They are listed as their guardian / caretaker because they're able to get on the listing. The state agrees. The people really have no choice when it comes down to it, so they will come in, determine that you're not capable of caring for yourself, and take your home, take all your belongings, and put you in a house. And that's if they feel like it. Now, they'll also strip you of all your assets, and essentially you'll just be a ward of the state. Now, the prospect of that is frightening to, basically it should be to anybody. It should be a frightening prospect that the state can come in, just have someone who's the arbiter of your stuff, and they make a determination that you are no longer capable of caring for yourself, so they're gonna do it and take all your shit. Horrific. Especially if you are not mentally deficient. Now, the G. She carries this whole thing. Even though she really didn't need to because the cast was awesome. it was a strong performance from every person who was involved in every part of it. And it's not a huge cast, and it's not stacked with people that you would know. There's not a bunch of big names. It's a smaller film. Awesome movie though, and it's funny how true to life it actually is, because as much as this woman has a lot of crazy things going on and she's a little bit nutty, you know what I mean? She actually reminds me a lot of a woman I knew named Mickey. Rest in peace, Mickey. Love you. She lived here in Connecticut, and she was, I mean, probably in her late 50s when I met her as a 20-year-old. And she was a bit gruff. She was an older trucker. She was a staunch, stark lesbian, but loved men. Loved to be around men and hang out with them and shoot the shit. And she was just like a dude. And this woman reminded me of her in certain elements where when Mickey talked, like, there's a lot of people who talk shit in this world, and there's a lot of people who, I don't know, even myself, you know, you bluster something out if you're getting into a physical situation where you're about to have an altercation, or, you know, just whatever the case may be. There's always that aspect of bluster to the human being in a lot of situations. Some people like Mickey don't have any. And that is like the G. She doesn't have any bluster. She doesn't have any big fake speeches where she's, you know, she doesn't have any of that. She's just a person who made a determination, and she was going to roll with that determination, and it didn't matter what you thought about it, and you should have thought better when you had a chance to, because now you don't have any chances left. And there are a lot of people like that in the world. If you've ever been in the presence of anyone who was a mobster, you'd realize that there is an element of their lack of fear is so potent that you actually feel it roll over onto you, because you're a normal person who does have fear. And that's like most of us. Most of us are normal people. We have fears. And, you know, we're worried about something in some situations. A lot of the time, you know, you stand with your back to the wall, and you make sure you have an eye on everybody when you're in a room, that you don't particularly trust everyone. That's a lot of us. Some people don't have those fears like that because they know things will be handled before it gets too far for them. This movie had the least disgusting adult old people sex scene that I've ever seen in a movie. It was actually almost like touching in a way. Like, it was just people who really wanted to connect with love for a last time, and they did have some love for each other, and they made love. And I was like, right, that's not really like fucking gross. Normally when you see like an old people sex scene in something, you're like, really? Did you have to put this in there? Because I don't think you had to. It wasn't necessary for you to put this in there. You put it in there anyway because you're gross. You're gross. You know you're gross. Nasty. But, or it's like in there for a comedic effect, where they're just trying to make you laugh, where you're like, ugh. Like that old lady who was like, making out with everyone in one of those farce movies. I forget which one it was called. I shouldn't have brought it up. But it just wasn't gross. It was actually kind of like endearing, and endeared you to both of the characters. And I thought that was kind of cool. They were able to play it that way. This movie was funny in a real life way. Not funny where anyone was saying anything comedic. Not funny where anyone was making a joke. Just little funny things happen in life no matter what's going on, and this movie had some of that in it, which I enjoyed because it really made it feel like it was real. in a way that impressed me. So there was that. And the fact that this happens is very dark in a way similar to that Jenny Penn movie. If you haven't seen that, you should check it out. I like how they showed the difference between violent and non-violent people. And if you enjoy like gritty drama movies, give The G a look. It was good. I'm going to give it a solid 7. Check it out. Enjoy your night, people.